let's just get into the core of this episode. Willow and Hunter, what did you think?
Well, they didn't make it romantic, which is good.
Oh, wow, really? Did you think?
That's what I was expecting a little bit. Like, the moment they meet, they are not interacting in that way. Before they met, as it was playing out, I was like, oh, is Hunter gonna, like, find a girl he likes or something? But I wouldn't want that to be the direction for Hunter, like, at all.
I think people are shipping them already. I think I saw someone shipping them on Twitter earlier.
Of course they are.
They're like, oh my god, they're both half witches, but together they're a whole.
Yawa. See, I told you last episode that we were overdue for a filler episode.
I thought it was cute. I don't know.
It definitely it clearly was a different sort of scale to what we've been having.
Yeah.
Pretty much most of the season.
What in this episode do you think was important enough to cut out a bit of the theme song?
Nothing. No, because is it actually longer? Can you check the time on the episode, please, Nick?
Well, it has commercials, so we're not really going to be able to...
It's probably commercial time. It's probably commercial time. It's very rare that people cut time on a show just to have more minutes within the episode itself.
No, Gravity Falls did that, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure Gravity Falls was like commercial time.
Does this count as the sports episode too, or was there enough that it's not the same?
I liked the first sports episode.
Yeah, no, this like there wasn't enough focus on sports. The sports section was like a segment in this episode.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was cute as well. I really like that we're getting to like we're seems like we're sort of getting an episode to put a little bit of focus on each of the Coven heads. We really got to know the Abomination guy in this one.
That's definitely what I took out the most from this. Is like that this was his villain showcase.
I love every time he's on screen. He's so cool.
What did he do in this episode again? He was like he took away Hunter's cloak and then he gave it back to him at the end, which I kind of appreciated because I like Hunter having someone on his side within the Emperor's Coven rather than more being, oh, we're so evil. And we're all villains for you to take down. But did he do anything else?
Not really.
Did he like showcase his powers at all?
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah. He like made his arm into a hook.
Okay, so he did something that Amity could do in episode 1. Has he done anything else?
He made his arm into a scythe, and then Willow used plant magic against him. Like, come on, idiot! Of course he's gonna cut it.
Oh.
No, but Amity doesn't, like, shapeshift her body at all, does she? With Abomination magic?
Yeah, no, I don't she doesn't.
No,
he's, like,
she doesn't.
Made of Abomination.
I mean, it's not, like, we knew that he could do that before.
Yeah.
So it's not new information, but it is cool. It seems like he can make Abominations, like, just, like, arms or whatever, just, like, come up out of the ground.
Okay, Willow and Hunter, let's just get into the core of this episode. Willow and Hunter, what did you think?
Well, they didn't make it romantic, which is good.
Oh, wow, really? Did you think?
That's what I was expecting a little bit. I mean, like, the moment they meet, they are not interacting in that way. But me, like, as the episode before they met, as it was playing out, I was like, oh, is Hunter gonna, like, find a girl he likes or something? But they, subverted that. Which, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want that to be the direction for Hunter, like, at all.
I think people are shipping them already. I think I saw someone shipping them on Twitter earlier.
Of course they are.
They're like, oh my god, they're both half witches, but together they're a whole.
Is she a half witch? Did she say that she was a half?
No,
witch?
but Amity used to call her half a witch Willow.
No, she did. She did say it in this episode.
She did say it.
Hey, yeah.
She said it. She said here, and Chan groaned.
I was kind of liking her this episode. Then she did the whole, like, I'm just half a witch. Well, I'm like, no, please. Like, I'm okay with her feeling, like, guilty, like it was, like, her responsibility. She's excited to be a leader, and then, like, she gets a bunch of her friends caught, technically. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just, again, doesn't feel natural to me. I don't know what it was. Am I the only one who thinks that?
No, because it's just because the way it's written, it's so it's so blatant. Like,
Yeah,
okay, like
it's
like Hunter said he was half a witch earlier, and now Willow needs to also say it. And then
Okay,
Hunter's gonna realize.
but when Hunter said it, I had no memory of the fact that was a Willow thing before. I needed the reminder.
It's just the way Willow said it. She's like, I made this team, and I made them get caught. I am half a witch. And I'm like, oh god, they're just spelling it all out, dude.
I'm remembering, like, when you used to complain about this so much in season 1. It's hilarious.
It's like when...
old times.
It's not just a King thing. Like, it's just like, every time a character's upset, they just say exactly... I don't know. It bothers me, but... I enjoyed the episode, at least. Like, as a whole, I thought it was fun.
I have a confession to make.
Hmm?
I stopped paying attention to the episode about a minute in.
Wow.
I had it on audio, and every time I tabbed back, I just couldn't get hooked on it again. And then I saw the very ending. So I have no idea if anything of note happened in this episode, because every time I looked at it, it was Hunter being awkward, and I just couldn't.
It is kind of funny.
Not today.
It is kind of funny that, like, Luce and Amity's plot, too, is just like, oh, it's, what's his name, Tibbles or something?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's Tibbles! Oh, man.
I mean, that plot was so useless.
They had, like, all the most pathetic characters join forces for that side plot.
This is like worse than the magical house episode, the one that I barely watched.
Really? I thought it was okay.
No, I'm not saying it was a worse episode. I mean, I am less capable of paying attention to this one than I was of paying attention to that one. And that one, I think I almost abstained from voting because I barely watched any of it. But it couldn't hurt me. I don't know. It's just it had like the worst characterization for everyone. I don't know.
Honestly, I was expecting big negative reactions from all of you, because I think the one thing that we usually complain about that this episode didn't have was King being depressed. But then other than that, it kind of was filled with the sort of stuff that we
have from King being depressed. So instead of having King being annoying, every other character was awful instead. Wonderful episode.
I don't think that. I just think personally, and I was kind of expecting you guys to think the same too. Like, it just kind of feels a little boring and like not that significant.
And like, I guess the point is supposed to be like, oh look, Hunter can be friends with them too. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cute. But then it just like, I don't know, just him going back to it.
I think they could have conveyed that in something much more interesting than like him going to the school and joining clubs and then like there being a sports thing.
No, I know. It's just really weird. It's like a writers' room meeting and they're like, we have to have all of these things happen. They're like,
okay.
let's just do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm finding it hard to judge this episode without knowing what is going to come next, I guess.
But like, just...
Like, I do think this episode was a step in Hunter's character development, but like... Yeah, sure, it could have been taken in any number of different ways. I don't know.
I was going to say, just because something leads to something interesting doesn't mean it shouldn't be interesting at the start, I guess. I don't know. I feel like we've already established that Hunter is feeling, like, insecure about, like, his role and everything, and, like, he, like, kind of got friendly with Luce, and then we're like, okay, so he might, like, do X, but then this one just sort of was the same thing again, right?
I don't know, he's a wreck. I feel like they make him more of a wreck every time we see him, but it doesn't feel earned. I don't know. It just feels like kicking. Every time we see Hunter, he gets, like, kicked by everything. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think... Because Hunter's like my favorite character in the show so far. Obviously, I kind of forget what has been happening in the previous episodes that he was in. Yeah, I think I like him a lot. I don't know, but he in this episode, Tipsy, you're definitely right that like they make him such like a loser character, and it's like even before this episode, he was in the Eclipse Lake one, and he was like actually a good villain in that one.
He was so cool.
In this one, Yeah, and then this one, he's like an awkward teen. And
Yeah,
it's like,
whereas-
they can't just immediately jump to that.
Like, not only is it like a tonal issue, right? Because Hunter being like so heavily abused all the time, whilst everyone or terrified that he's about to die, whilst everyone else is just happy fun times. That's a tonal clash because the show hasn't prepared us emotionally for that sort of characterization. But like, secondly, where's his fire as a villain? So Hunter feels pathetic and thinks he's going to die. So what do you do with that? They're giving him a redemption arc? That's what the story is? Or do they use that to show him becoming a more determined and desperate villain? Becoming, for example, the bigger bully. And becoming terrifying himself. But it just kind of feels like they're just going to keep going in the direction of him being unhappy in the Emperor's Coven until his eventual, one, sacrifice, two, departure, three, joining the good guys or something. And it's like, when will you do something interesting with it rather than repeating the same beats again and again?
Yeah, I get it. I get that. I was just thinking, like, yeah, his role in this episode wasn't that of a villain, though, so... Yeah, of course, it would be different than, like, Eclipse Lake, but... Yeah, I mean, I can't argue.
I have to clarify, Nick. I only was surprised at you saying Hunter was your favorite because I didn't know that. Not because I was like, you like Hunter? 'Cause I enjoy him enough. Like, But anyway, what were you gonna say?
I love his design. I love his acting. And
Yeah,
stuff.
he's a great voice actor.
He's interesting.
I can't stand him. I feel miserable every time I see him.
I like his
now.
teleportation magic. I'm like,
Right.
man, that's if
It's-
I want to use that build on my character.
It's like every time I watch the show and he's on the screen, I become like a little bit more depressed. And it's like, not this afternoon, thank you. I'm going to zone out and do something else.
Well, I'm depressed, so it's relatable. I was just gonna ask though, like, why were the Coven heads being so rude to him? Like, was that already kind of established? Like, I thought he was just kind of against Kikimora, but here it's like they all think he's pathetic. Like, why? Because he can't do magic? Like, why does the Emperor even have him around? Or, like,
I guess like that wasn't established previously, but this was them trying to be like, none of them take him seriously. Like they all just think he was like born into that position, and they're kind of like, this guy's like a, he's like a nobody. Why does he get to be with this group? I guess.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like I mean, I do like that he built a rapport with the one guy at the end. I quite enjoyed that because it kind of implies that there's more to it than them just picking on him because they think he sucks. Like they genuinely, like he genuinely didn't have respect for Hunter and thought Hunter was just a fucking kid in over his head. But if Hunter's able to earn their respect, like through doing genuinely admirable things rather than just appeasing them, then that kind of implies that maybe they're hoping, maybe some of them are hoping he gets a bit of fire. I don't know. Which is nice to think. But at the same time, perhaps some of them know his destiny because his predecessor, we haven't talked about that yet. Do you think that's that's his quote unquote father? Or do you think there was another Hunter?
I mean, there was another Golden Guard who was a powerful witch, so probably not anything like the situation Hunter's in.
Oh, okay, so a previous Golden Guard.
well, do we want lore that we missed from the previous episode and did not talk about?
Sure.
Well, what did we not talk about? Tell me.
When Luz looked at the Philip's journal and she was like, "Who's that?" Because there was the drawing of the two guys. The other guy looked exactly like Hunter and had Hunter's exact like facial shape and nose.
Oh yeah,
and
I knew about that. I think I knew about that when we recorded the podcast. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. So I don't like that's what I read from him talking about a predecessor, is that he was talking about Hunter's, the person he's cloned from, like the true original person, or whatever's going on.
I don't think anyone else knows. I don't think anyone but the Emperor knows about that, because if they did, they probably wouldn't be saying like, "You don't deserve to be here," because they would know exactly why he was there.
maybe they do know about that, and his predecessor was like crazy awesome, and then he's just a kid, and they're like, "What is this? Like, why is this the clone we got?"
Yeah.
So they're like, kind of
But,
like,
but, like,
all right.
Hunter literally can't use magic, and the reason for that we suspect is because he's partially human, right? Because he's like a clone of the Emperor, who is Philip from the past, who's a human.
So why
Right.
wouldn't the Emperor teach him magic?
Because he can't use it. He's physically incapable of using magic.
But I don't mean like biomagic. I mean like the Emperor's own. Philip Ritterbane last episode was doing glyph magic. So why isn't Hunter learning glyph magic? Is it because it's wild magic? Is it because
yeah, I
it's
think so.
unstable? Right. Okay. Because it
I think
belongs to the planet.
the Emperor hates it. I don't know. He used it and then turned him into some kind of monster.
Let's see.
Could be another case of like he must find his own, or else he is never the Golden Guard.
But the previous Golden Guard apparently was a super powerful witch, so I don't think they were related at all to Hunter.
Is that true? Is in the episode they said that? My memory is so short.
They did say that. But I think now that you say that, Tulip, it's like they have to at some point show us that person. I think it'd be kind of weird for them to mention a predecessor very specifically here and then not have it eventually appear somewhere.
That's true. That could happen.
You mean like Prismo's boss?
Prismo's boss, Jesus.
Hey, maybe they'll do it in Distant Lands, the new one. Okay, anyway, sorry.
My boss?
Yeah.
Should be Fiona and Cake.
Yeah, because it's about multiverses. Sorry, I'm hijacking the podcast.
Adventure Time podcast.
Prismo's boss is a character in the Owl House.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, essentially. He's the collector.
I don't know. I didn't think about that. Like, this is a Hunter's Arc episode, so I thought the only reason the old Golden Guard was mentioned was to give Hunter a motivation to go to school.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I feel like they would. They definitely will show, or like this is gonna definitely come back for sure. Do you guys hear the birds in the background of my mic?
I do hear.
Yeah.
Is it in your room?
No.
Is it inside your room?
No, they're out there on the trees. You know where birds go. They just have a thing or two to say. They might be talismans. It's hard to tell. I can't see them. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little Owl House reference for you Owl House fans.
He is the owl from the Owl House.
Yeah.
Well, I said it while we were watching it, but before we like started the episode, I was gonna joke and be like, "All right, here's like our filler episode where the pig guy."
I wish you said it.
And then he actually did, and I genuinely did not know that.
I know.
Oh, God.
You've missed your chance to make history. I'm so sad. And then they're just like, what's his name? Bartholomew or whatever?
Bartholomew. Yeah.
He's just back to him. Like, ugh.
What did he do in his set? Because I wasn't paying enough attention to see him. What did
He just
do?
was part of the scam. By the way, the scam, I think one of us talked and I didn't hear what he said, is that he just like found the books and like sold them in the witch's realm? Is that...
Yeah, I don't know.
probably.
I didn't catch
And
it.
Amity's the only one who ever bought them, apparently.
Yeah.
Right, so they're literally... So it's not that the author of the book... Aww. But I was hoping the author of the book somehow, like, sold them in both worlds.
You really weren't paying attention.
I actually was, when they said, like, the author might be a way between the realms, I thought that was really cool. I liked that idea. And then I was like, oh, that's not real.
Oh, so that's what Luz meant. That's what Luz meant when she said the author of the journals might be Ida. I wasn't paying enough attention.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, I'm serious. That's how much I zoned out this episode. So it might be better than I'm going to give it credit for. But I'm almost disappointed. I was kind of hoping there'd be another mystery about the witch books, you know?
Yeah, but like the more I think about, what you guys were saying, like very little of this crossed my mind during the actual episode of these criticisms, but like, yeah, the more I think about it, I mean, yeah, like this was a step forward for Hunter, but a really small one. And like,
Yeah, that usually happens, and I'm like, all right, that episode was pretty good. What do you guys think? You're like, it's fucking horrible, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I give it a 4 when my original rating was like a 9. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think it was horrible because at least I mean, this makes it sound ruder than I mean it to sound, but it wasn't like cringe like season 1 episodes were, where they were very blatant like tropey episodes where it like actually kind of felt
I think
useless. Like this was just kind of boring, especially compared to what we've been.
I think it is fair to say like the bad episodes of season 1 made me like I had to leave the room and vomit. No, not actually that. But you know, they weren't like they actually were like pretty bad. But this one, like even you know considered bad by season 2, I'm still like, yeah, like I liked that. It was a fun watch. So that's cool. I don't know if it's Willow's character design or her voice actress, but like I can't dislike her, even though I should dislike her. She's so adorable. And I'm like, oh, she's so proud of herself. I'm so happy for her. I'm like,
I know they make her so cute.
I like that she's been getting buff for like some reason. Is this why she's been getting buff?
yeah. And I thought it was cute that Gus was like, wait, did Gus know Hunter? I was a little confused with that part, or he didn't.
no.
He just was like, don't mess this up, essentially. But I thought it was cute when he defended her, like, this is really important to her.
Yeah.
Better not mess this up. I'm like, oh, they're cute.
I mean, like, I definitely like some of the ideas that were, like, the concepts that were in this episode. Like, I like the idea of Hunter, you know, making friends with Willow separate from Luce, like, not even knowing that they know each other at all.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Hunter, like, being awkward around people his age because he was raised in such a different environment than them.
He's like, that's what friends do, backstab each other. I'm like, oh, okay. No.
I like Viney just like hating this one guy, and we don't have any clue what's going on there. That was funny.
Oh,
Did we not know? Because I was like, I felt like I was missing.
no, that's
something.
that's the guy from the detention episode. You guys.
What?
Yeah, okay, that's what I felt like.
Was he?
That was one of the. There was 3 people in the detention episode that were in the like detention.
That was
realm.
our least favorite episode.
I know, it was just funny because you're like, is that the person from the detention episode? Then one of you was like, no. I was like, no, that is. What are you talking?
I didn't say no.
No, like, I recognize Viney, although I didn't remember her name, and I recognize the other guy who's like a dog. But, like...
Yeah, no, that was the 3rd one.
Okay. Yeah, okay, and I had completely forgotten about that. Never mind.
Funny.
It's less funny if there's actually a backstory there.
That is true. Like, if there wasn't a backstory, that joke would have been 8 times. I thought it was still a funny joke, but like, if that actually just wasn't any context, it would have been so funny.
I loved Hunter's line where he's like, "Oh, they probably all like the same things I do, like authority."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think just overall, it's just the school stuff that's like, especially just because we got so many cool, like, you know, it doesn't always have to be lore, but just like we've been going on adventures a lot recently in the episodes, and now we're back at the school, and it's like, and what's with the teacher guy, like,
I was about to say that.
Guy.
He's just like, listen, if you want your club, you better beat me, a former champion of this sport. I'm like, okay.
He's been in like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
There's only 2 teachers at the school.
The commercial break, Luz was like, our greatest adventure yet. And then we get back to the episode, and it's just this. I'm like, oh.
Blimey.
I liked the subplot with Luz and Amity, too. I
Like, it was cute,
Yeah.
but because I just like them together,
it's
but like
adorable.
nothing happened.
No, yeah, but nothing happened, which I feel like that's kind of something that's good about that, because you expect, wait, how come these books are in both worlds? What's up with that? And then that the answer is completely nothing.
Yeah,
Just like-
I mean that's fair.
I
I don't know,
appreciate that.
I think to me, it didn't need to have a reveal, but you know, they could have at least done something other than just follow somebody into a rock.
I think the thing that made
And-
me sad is what I said, that I was like, oh, maybe they are like a witch between worlds. That's interesting that the Zura books like came back in that way, but then it just wasn't, and I was like, oh man, that was cool.
And the demon guy, he literally said, like, as a joke, like, "Oh, were you expecting a big reveal?"
Yeah.
And Luz was like, "Oh," and like, because they made that joke, I was like, oh, okay, is he actually going to have something in his possession that'll be a hint or something? And then nothing happened.
No, they were just self-aware when they were writing it. That's
Yeah,
all.
of course they were. They put all
Yeah.
the most, like, useless, nothing characters in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that wasn't intentional.
But I get that, but it just makes it unsatisfying that actually nothing came out of it. Luz and Amity are freaking adorable. It's great always, like, seeing the way they're treating their relationship. But I would have liked a little hint of something to come out of that other than them wanting to be writers, unless that becomes important.
I'm just glad it wasn't just like the author of the books, King's dad, like something like that. It's Hootie.
It should be Hootie.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on anything we saw?
No.
I guess not.
Whoa.
Do you think Hunter's gonna join Hexside for real and become a student, and there's gonna be an episode about it?
I don't ever want to see Hexside ever again.
I'm with Nick. Get me away from that setting, please. I hate it so
excuse
much.
you. The Grom fight episode was wonderful.
Okay, yes.
And that was
Yeah,
in
but like
Hexside.
they could have had a dance without the Grom episode, and it would have been fine.
I know, but I'm just trying to think. Like, what Hexside episodes have been pretty good? Let's think. Grom fight.
Just
Anyone
that
else?
one. Just that one.
Is there any
Just that
other
one.
one?
There's the detention hole one.
I didn't like that one.
That was a different episode. I don't remember.
That was the one with
that was a cool.
the Human Appreciation Club and
Only the app where they went to the mountain to learn the gifts to enter Hexside. That's literally it. And that was before she started at the school.
Sorry, Hexside. I tried.
No, seriously. Okay, what was the sport in this set? Because I saw it was knockoff Quidditch and then I went to sleep. So,
No.
is,
I mean,
is it any better than knockoff Quidditch?
I mean, it's not really Quidditch other than flying. Yeah, I think, to my understanding, everybody has a flag on the back of their talisman, and like you have to steal it from the other person. They weren't exactly clear on like what the rules were, so I'm like, can you just like chop their head off, take the
Exactly.
flag?
That's what I was.
They didn't explain. They didn't explain the rules because, like, it's not important. Like,
Yeah.
the sport wasn't a big part of this episode.
No, I know. I was just wondering, like, what counts as a foul in that, and because like the
They're,
abomination
like,
teacher,
they had to like hang flags on the opponent's side's tree.
I think it's like if you fall off your broom or talisman or whatever, you're out of the game, and then the teacher like cheated by like doing something out of the game. Because I was like, why were they mad at him when he just like used his magic? But I just figured it out.
Yeah. So, question: had we ever seen Hunter do that teleporting thing before?
Yes, that's like his main thing.
okay.
You silly, so cool. Didn't he do that in Eclipse Lake and like?
Yeah, I think both of the previous ones he was in, there was like little fights with it.
I just remember it specifically because it's so cool.
Why did they give Hunter a teleport staff? Why didn't they give a teleport staff to like a more powerful character and have him become an unstoppable monster?
I don't know.
Maybe
I mean,
they
is
don't
it,
need to
like-
do it yet. Maybe they haven't
Is
found
the
someone.
teleportation a talisman thing?
No, it's a
One-
it's his staff, isn't it? His
Yeah.
little red gem that he has. If it really comes down to it, they might take it from him and put it on someone stronger and make a terrifying, unstoppable monster character.
I didn't remember that at all. I still don't. I'm just trusting your word.
So
We could
Tipsy-
April Fool's Tulip. Everything we just said was a lie.
Tipsy will rate it first. What do you rate it?
I rate it like.
Oh.
Oh no, this is not fair because I wasn't paying attention.
Just
I rate
just do an ellipsis. Give it a dot.
I rate it like 4 question mark.
Wow.
Okay.
I guess a 6 or 6.5.
If you're gonna give it an 8 originally, then you can't just not give it.
No,
an 8
I was
because-
thinking my original rating was a 7. I
Oh,
think,
okay.
and I was like, that's a little high, I guess. I guess a 6. I'm gonna say 6.
I'm gonna say 5. Like, it's quality, it's just not very exciting.
Why is this the only app I've seen spoilers for? Tube it.
What did you see? What did you see?
because Luz and Amity are in it.
I didn't even didn't see Liberty spoilers. I just saw like Hunter and Willow hanging out, and that's
Okay.
the only thing I saw this episode. What about you, Tulip?
So a while ago, I was thinking about like, number values, rating things, and I was just in the mood to do it, and so I went through like a list of a bunch of movies and TV shows that I'd seen and just gave them a number based on how I was feeling at that moment. And like early on in doing that, like I got to the original Star Wars trilogy, and I rated it a 7. Like, and from that point on, like, because that was like my reference point for
How good is it
yeah.
compared to the Star Wars original trilogy?
Like, well, Star Wars, I like them. Not my favorite thing in the world, but it's always going to be a fun time to watch Star Wars. And so every other time I gave something a 7, I said, now that's a Star Wars 7 right there. And so when I was watching this episode, I thought, it's fine. It's a Star Wars 7.
Star Wars 7.
But then afterwards, we were talking it out, and I think it doesn't deserve that. I think it's probably a 6.
If there's Star Wars 7, then what's your 6 reference? Like,
I don't have that.
You don't have anything in your life that you say, that's a 6?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe someday.
This episode is
Yep,
the
now you
reference
do. It's the
Xenoblade,
episode.
Xenoblade Chronicles, this episode, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a 6.
What's it called? That's any sport in a storm. That's a sport in a storm 6 is what you're gonna say from now on. All right.
Yeah, and just Tulip, don't let anybody over the age of 30 know that you think the original trilogy is a 7, because they will hurt you.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, like I said earlier, good concepts in this episode, maybe not executed the best, but it's also not painful to watch, so I think 6 is a fair score.
Yeah.
Good concepts? What concepts were in this episode?
Oh my god, you didn't even watch it.
I know, but there wasn't exactly lots of concepts to say were good.
Don't worry, Tulip. I thought there were some good concepts also.
Yeah, I thought there were some good concepts
Like,
too.
what have we been talking about for 30 minutes?
She's like, what concepts? No, actually, I'm asking. I didn't watch it. All right, listen. There's no haiku today. There's no haiku.
No.
Not today.
That's how you know it was a bad episode.
Yeah, that's right.
There is no haiku.
No
I
haiku.
didn't watch the episode.
Haiku. I didn't.
I'm going to
I
bed
didn't
now.
watch it. Wait, there is no haiku. Is 5 syllables. Keep going.
Okay, yeah.
There is no haiku. I
Uh-huh.
did not pay attention.
Yeah.
That's how I live life.
Wow. I'm really sad because I turned off my recording before that. I'm sorry. I ruined it. That was like the
No,
best
that's
part
okay.
of
No,
the
that's
whole
perfect. Perfect ending.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please hit the like button so more viewers like you can find this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel with notifications on to see my future content, and follow me on other sites like TikTok and Twitter for special exclusives. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more.